Welcome to the Retail Tech Podcast. My name is Darius Basefi, and today I am speaking with Wayne Liu, Chief Growth Officer and President of Americas at Perfect Corp. How are you, Wayne?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you on the show. Let's start with a brief bio on yourself.
Yeah, so thank you. My name is Wayne Liu. So currently is Chief Growth Officer and the President of Perfect American, and also I'm the co-founder. So work with our CEO Alice Chen since the beginning of our company, which is being 10 years now. This year is our 10-year anniversary. So I've been in charge of the company's strategy and the business development, marketing, all kind of things. So many wearing hats, because we start with a small startup company. Okay, so prior to that, actually, I've been working with Alice on her previous company, which is Cyberlinks. So I'm in charge of business development on the global scale. So I work with lots of IT companies, for example, like Lenovo, Qualcomm, and Intel. Actually, that prior to that, I was an engineer. So my last engineering job with NVIDIA. Okay, so I designed the graphic chip, and then my engineer career started at Intel. So that's why. So I was an engineer and then turned into an entrepreneur.
That engineer mind, but never leaves you though, right? It's
Yes,
always there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, NVIDIA must have been a very interesting time working over there and how it's taking over the world, it seems now. So very
Yes,
interesting.
yeah. When I was there, we designed GPU that primarily for gaming. We don't
Yeah,
know actually the GPU actually become the core of AI revolution.
very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Let's talk about Perfect Corp. What is the main business of Perfect Corp and how do you help retailers?
Yeah, so Perfect Core, actually, we have a multiple business model. So let me just put it in the simplest way. Okay, Perfect Core is a technology company. Of course, technology company at the core, and the core technology is AR, augmented reality, and AI. And then we start with the AR. Is a we actually doing the on the market which is focused on the beauty. So that's how we very special. We apply this AI and AR on the beauty industry. We start with the virtual try on for the makeup. Just for example, if you want to try some makeup, which I don't know if you try makeup, but some people try makeup, but they don't really need to put the makeup on top of them, so they can do it virtually. Okay, so they can try as many makeup as possible. So that's how the business started. Okay, so we work with lots of the beauty company, like Estee Lauder company, LVMH, and we also work with the retailer like Sephora, Walmart. That's how we get into helping the retailer. Okay, so because in that way we can help them on the e-commerce side. So they pretty much put our module on their website, so the customer can try many different color and then also different shape, and then they can purchase. So this really help the conversion. And then also one thing is to help the return. Especially on the color makeup, the color that's the keyword. Especially from foundation, if you get the wrong color, you need to return it. So that's why our solution help a retailer um, increase the conversion and also save the improving the return rate. So that's how we started. And then probably we'll talk about later. Then we get into skincare. So we are using AI, like generative AI and then the machine learning to learn your skin and then give you recommendation on the product. Okay. And then just recently, actually, it's about like 4 months ago, we acquired a company called Wana. So Wana actually was Farfetch. Farfetch is a luxury retailer, e-commerce company. So we are getting to fashion. So we pretty much like overall cover the fashion and the beauty. So just to give a nutshell of our company using technology to serve the fashion and the beauty industry.
I'd love to learn more about the technology for AR. What technology is like the latest, and what are the developments on the AR side that are happening, on the technical side?
Yes, actually, great question. So because AR been there for years, right? So as you said, probably more than 10 years. So people think, oh, AR is more like not the coolest and the most fashion technology. But what you can see here is AR is a two component. One is augmented, another one is reality. So first, have to be able to recreate this reality. Okay, in our cases, color or fashion goods, right? So like accessory, eyewear, watches. So that one is we need to have a very for sophisticated technology to recreate this 3D. Okay, so recreate a 3D model. It's not just about creating the model. So right now we are actually using AI to help us in that part, to help us to recreate the 3D model. For example, how do you simulate the lighting, the reflection of a diamond? Okay, so that's why you cannot just your vendor your customer cannot just ship you a diamond, right? They probably ship you some kind of model, they ship you some kind of photo. You just use this kind of information to recreate that. Actually, at some point in time, it's very similar to what NVIDIA is doing with this the gaming, right? So it's like a ray tracing because they try to simulate the light. Actually, we are using pretty similar technology. We call the PBS. So it's a physical based render, PBR, sorry, PBR, physical based rendering. We try to simulate the object. So that's why there's AR, but it's an AI part on top of it. And also, one thing which is heavily connect the AR with the AI is computer vision. The first thing is you have to see the color, right? So for the AR, it's say we just say computer, just get it simple. It's a computer. Computer cannot see. So how can you let this computer to see the color? That's AI. We're using machine learning, which is mainly is a convolutional network, CNN, which we try to learn this color layer by layer, layer by layer. Okay, so different layer, especially for this makeup, right? It's not just one color, it's a multiple color. So we're learning using AI, especially the convolutional network or the computer vision to learn the detail of a color. Then we need to learn your face. Okay, so we are not doing face recognition. We don't need to know who you are, but we need to know how you look like. So that's why we try to identify so-called a landmark. So that's why it's a how can make AR so real? It's because it learned intelligently with the help of AI. So lots of people doesn't know this AR. Actually, AI is taking very important part of AR. So if you just do AR without AI, I guess what you have is not really uh, enticing because you probably didn't really reflect the reality. You probably put a sticker. Okay, so put a sticker on some of thing is not the AR. So just to put it this way, AI is the brand of AR.
Do you use like an off-the-shelf AR engine and customize it like people do with generative AI models? Or is this actually like a custom built from the ground up engine?
Yeah, for the AR, the virtual try-on for the makeup, which is the engine we built from the ground up. Okay, so of course, as I said, the CNN, all kind of algorithm, that's open, right? So we also use some open sources, but the core, the engine is something we build up, like a color rendering and also the face recognition, facial recognition. That's an engine which we build up. Okay, so but it's a wrapper on top of it. For example, right now our AR can talk to customer. So actually we call the perfect GPT. So for this LLM, we don't need to recreate the LLM, which is really don't need it. So we license some of this the API from the company. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is like so much technology in there. Nobody can really build everything by themselves.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So it must be pretty time consuming or challenging to stay on top of all the changes in every one of these technologies.
Yes. Well, that's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. So our company has about 400 something people, and then among these 400 people, probably two-thirds of them are highly related to engineering, product design. So we are really an engineering-driven company. So our engineering like just cranking the latest and greatest technology to present to the customer. And also some of the thing here is, as you said, because we need to manage many different the area or the market segment. So some of this the core which we can commonly share. Okay, so we heavily leverage this technology so to in the different markets. So although the final application probably doesn't look the same, but the core, the technology probably can be the similar, coming from the similar root.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, AI, of course, is has been around for decades, and we've been using, like you've been using it. Generative AI is the new form, uh, and of course, it's really advancing in image and video generation. Are any of these new, I guess, image-based advancements in Gen AI actually helping your product?
Yes, absolutely. So prior to Gen AI, so we call this a classic AI or analytic AI, right? So it's a machine learning. So that's why our skin analysis, right? We feeding right now we have like a 90,000 data, which mainly is a photo. So we're feeding the machine to train the machine. So the machine become very sophisticated and they can recognize a customer or the audience, the faces probably in a couple of seconds, we tell you how your skin look like. Okay, so from at this moment, that's all analytic AI. What amazes us about this generative AI is so now we can start create. Generative AI is all about creation. So what's the next? Once I understand my skin condition, what I need to do is I need to do if I use this product or if I go through this routine, what my face will look like was in 6 weeks, in 3 months. So that's where the generative AI kick in. So mainly because we are using this graphic and the video in most cases. So we are heavily using the diffusion model, right? Try to recreate the image and then what the customer look like based on the data, the simulation the data. So that's why we're using generative AI to create. Another case is because we do beauty, hair considered part of the beauty. And previously, without generative AI, to recreate or change the hairstyle is very difficult because if you're just using traditional AR and AI learning, it's there are some barrier because of the shape and the color of the hair. So the face, right? The face, it doesn't really matter how you look. Face is the face. Most of people has a similar the contour, but the hair can be very different. Okay, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, and the texture, everything. So that's why until we get into the generative AI, it's very difficult to recreate the hair. But right now we are using the generative AI, as I said, mainly on the diffusion this side, so we can recreate, we can change the hair color. So we just put a photo for this the machine to learn, and then they can recreate this and on your faces, based on your faces, based on your hair color, based on your hair texture. So that one also helps us a lot, especially on the graphic generative side.
How do you see the market evolving for AR-based research?
For AR, especially on the virtual try-on side, actually, I think that's a proven technology for certain industry. Okay, what I say certain industry is, I always say AR is not for everyone because there's some criteria for you. You know, if your company meet this kind of criteria, you may have a very successful AR. But if you don't, you probably won't have a very successful AR deployment. So what I mean here is two things. Because it's AR, it's augmented and it's reality. First is on the reality side, your product has to be some kind of meet some kind of standard. So we can create a model. For example, color, makeup, right? So it doesn't really matter how many color, but there is a standard. For example, like a six, the hex color, you want to get the six digit, and then you can represent a color. So that's how you get the reality. Or for example, like a fashion, right? Eyewear. So that's a spec which you can follow. So that's why R, the reality side, is important. So if you're selling the grocery, onion, it's no standard. So that's why it's very difficult to recreate a model. And the second one is augmented. You want to make this AR fun, right? And then there's we call the gamification, playful. So that's why even with a standard like a color, you have thousands of colors, so customer can try. Or like in the eyewear, right? So you can try different style, different color, so customer can try. So you need to be you have to be able to standardize and also have a variety. Okay, so that's how a successful AR activation will look like. Just to give you another example, the construction bricks, right? So there's a standard, it looks the same, but the thing is, it looks the same. Every construction bricks is the color is the same. So that's why it's no fun. It's no fun to try it. So that's why I see AR get very successful, especially on the makeup, probably furniture, probably like an automobile, right? So this kind of industry that's proven, especially our customer, we have like a more than 700 customer. They see the great conversion, reduce the return rate, enhance the customer engagement. So I think AR will continue. Yeah, so AR will continue in this certain industry. And then right now, as I said, we make it fancier, which you add the AI part, and not only just do AR, but we create something which is not there. Okay, so it's more like a augmented reality plus. So that's I guess we'll continue, doing this, especially on the customer education, customer engagement side.
I remember Lowe's a few years ago was trying to design a kitchen.
Right? So you have a spec, you have a standard, and then you can try the various different color, combination, texture, material. So that's why that's also a very great application of the AR. In our cases, especially on the accessory, okay, like a jewelry, we can we have a 3D authoring tool. So as I said, we don't really need to have a good, our customer doesn't need to ship like $1 million of a diamond to us, but we can use this 3D authoring tool, try to simulate that diamond or the jewelry, and then change the different angle, this type of thing. And then so before actually the customer really create that diamond, we already have a virtual prototyping.
What's a typical implementation for a new customer?
Of course, a different market segment has a different way, but basically what happened is usually like 70% of our cases, they want to use this in the e-commerce, and the rest of 30 probably they use the in-store experience. So just for example, on the e-commerce side, we provide an API. So what they need to tell us is, of course, for the makeup is the color and what kind of category. Are you using lipsticks or are you using getting to the eyelashes, all kind of things. So different category, we have a little bit we have a deliverable, right? So we ask the customer to give us all this the spec and color. So we will create the first round, and then we work with the customer to do some testing, make sure if they are okay. So if they are okay, they pretty much implement this API on their website, and then they can launch and then publish it. We have a different tier of customer for small customer, which their product is not that complicated, and then they don't need the customization. They can actually, we have a self-service, so they can just go to our self-service to create this color and then publish by themselves. But for lots of like a big retailer or the brand, for example, like a Walmart, it's impossible. They have like probably 10,000 different SKU, and then they need a customization. Also, they need to meet some certain kind of security criteria. So that's why that one primarily we will take care of this the creation, the case, the project, instead of have the customer to work on.
What kind of maintenance does the company need to keep AR software running?
Yeah, usually it's the product replenish, right? So sometimes they have a product which is there's a phase out, right? So they need to take out this, and then probably they add a new product. So usually adding new product or remove the outdated product, that's primarily the maintenance, okay, if they don't want to add any new feature. And then some of the customer, they add new features. For example, right now they do a virtual try-on, but we also have a new feature called virtual tutorial. So basically, we create a virtual assistant to help you learn how to create a makeup. So that's why there's advanced feature, so they consider new project if they want to do that. But beyond the new features, basically they just do the maintenance, adding product, remove the product, and also we do the security patches, right? So if it's a new security patches coming in, we do that.
Let's talk a little bit about the new acquisition you mentioned.
The company called is Wana. It's a European company. They was under Farfetch. So Farfetch acquired them like 3 years ago. Mainly, this company is create a virtual try-on for fashion, like shoes, bag, scarf, apparel. Okay, so that's an area where we want to So we get the initial, we get into like accessory and eyewear. That's why but we don't have a bag, we don't have a shoes. So that's why we think that's actually strategically is important because they make this puzzle complete. And also they are working with some customer, which is also our common customer. So I think that's ideally that's a good opportunity. So when we see this a good opportunity, and then it's the deal is complete. Okay, so for acquisition of Wana, as I said, they make the puzzle complete because fashion and beauty is really come side by side. Fashion is about trending, beauty is about personalization. So that's why it's always important. So strategically, that's very important for us. And then also Wana has the best technology, especially on the virtual try-on for the fashion goods.
Speaking of growth, what areas, strategies, what opportunities are you seeing for growth?
Good question, because of the broader strategy is we want to go deep, which for example, like each category we get into makeup, skin, fashion. We want to go very deep, make sure we are keep on as a leader, technology leader. For example, like a skin, right? So we have a skin analysis, then we have a high definition skin analysis, then we have a 3D skin analysis, and then now we do simulation. So that's why each category we want to go very deep. And then also we go wide, go broad. That's why we start getting the fashion, and then we look at the hair, fashion. So that's why we go broad, that which is can cover more the market segment. So that's the very high level strategy. And also on the other side, we see great potential on the skin. Okay, skin is a huge market, and right now, people's their idea about beauty change a little bit, because it's right now it's not just a look at the beauty from the face, they look at beauty within. So that's why they say the beauty, what you look like now, is a reflection of an internal status. If you internal, you're healthy, it looks better. So that's why skin become a biomarker, which is more like the index to detect how healthy you are. So that's a new trend. So that's why we see skin is not only just a skin, it get into wellness, it get into longevity. So huge opportunity for on the skin side. When we are, as I said, in the leading space of AI analytics on the skin. That's a huge opportunity. And also on the fashion side, I think that one is new. It's just like all this the tariff. Physical goods need to get taxed, but if you can use the virtual try-on, it can save you on at least the three, the aspect of business. First is sample, right? So in the store, like a shoe store, you don't need to put that many sample out there for people to try. You can probably just have one, and then virtually try other. So if a customer like it, you can ship it directly to their places. That's one thing. Also reduce the inventory, right? So you don't need to keep so much like inventory because you can do virtual tryout. So you can keep all the variety virtually instead of buy all the inventory. And of course, reduce return because each return right now is more costly because this the tariff. So that's why we see AR is going to play a very important part in this the new era of this the fashion business. So I put a name there. We call I call the digital defense. Okay, using technology to sort of find the opportunity why the market is really worried about this tariff.
On the topic of in-store, I personally haven't seen a lot of good examples. Are there any examples you can give me as far as like stores that we can go to and take a look?
For the makeup, actually, it's not that rare. Okay, so in some of our customer, like Estee Lauder company, and then their portfolio brand, they are using in-store activation. So it can just be an iPad. You don't need to have a very fancy devices, just an iPad, and then they implement this our in-store version. So that's why, and even some of these travel retailer, they are using this. So basically, you go to the counter and you quickly try different color or identify your shade. So that's the model which has been used for years. Okay, and then some of these department store actually you can just go and try. And also another very interesting indoor activation is we work with a Starboard, which they are in charge of. They call the vacational retailer. Okay, so they put this activation on the ship, the cruise ship. So they launched late last year. Currently, it's about like a 30 plus. The cruise ship has the skin analysis. So people taking vacation, they
Oh,
probably get sunburn or they change the skin condition. So that's why go to the shop and do a skin analysis, and they can ship you the product. Okay, or if they have an inventory, they just so that's another innovative way to use the in-store the AR/AI activation. And another one, which is so some of this probably that's about this WANA. Okay, so WANA has some activation with the Gucci and the other fashion brand. So they taste do the virtual try on the fashion goods like shoes. So actually WANA has a case study on that. Okay, so this kind of activation actually is happening. And then I believe there will be more activation with the virtual environment because the physical goods can be pretty expensive. So on the beauty side, that's been going on. And the skin, and right now, as I said, not only just the cruise ship, but lots of medical spa. Equinox is a recent a new addition. They are using some of this very high-end gym, the club. They actually have the spa. They have a medical spa. Their esthetician using our skin analysis. As I said, just an iPad to do analysis and do the consultation. Okay, so again, there's another innovation way to using AR/AI in the retail or the physical store. That's the one, Amazon. So they opened a physical pharmaceutical the store, like a pharmacy in Milan. So I guess they just do some trial. They opened the first pharmacy in Milan. So they are using our skin analysis to put into the store, self-service, and you don't really need to talk to the counselor. So basically, you just do a analysis and then just take the product which that I recommend to you.
jewelry is another very interesting use case.
Jewelry is a use case. It's a good use case. We actually are working with a luxury jewelry brand, which I cannot say the name. But basically, what they want to do here is they want to do the virtual try-on for some jewelry in store. Okay, so they have a different purpose. Some of them is because again, inventory, right? So they don't want to put that many expensive, very luxury jewelry in store. It's a very, I think, like a risk. It's very
Yeah.
dangerous to have so many things. So that's why they want to reduce, they want to use the AR. However, on the other side, their AR need to be very accurate. They need to reflect that reality. So that's why because they are high-end luxury jewelry, they don't want to compensate, right? So they don't want to compromise on this AR because they lost this reality. So that's why that project can take a very long because we need to get into that kind of a craftsmanship of the luxury jewelry vendor.
Maybe AR doesn't have to do the full cycle. It can fill a part of it. It helps the customer go from 100 options down to two, and then the customer can try those. But it doesn't
Yes.
necessarily have to close the loop. In the case of jewelry, it can help with the colors and different designs of diamonds. And from that point, staff can actually help the customer more.
It's about recommendation and personalization, right? So some of the product which you look good, but it doesn't really look good on you. So that's why, the AI can help to limit, to filter out all this selection and then make sure you get the best. And then you can try it.
What other types of growth activities does a company like Perfect engage in? Is it like, I mean, you're B2B, correct?
Yes, that's actually I'm about to say. For most of this the podcast right now, I focus on B2B, but actually we have a B2C business, which we have our own app. Our company start, like the very beginning, we have an app called the You Can Makeup and You Can Perfect. And right now we have a family of apps. So that app is a public app, so user can just download it, which is very popular. We get lots of active user. And then a couple of years ago, we start turning this app into more like we turn on the monetization model. So that's why, especially with the help of AI, just like ChatGPT, people like to try different. They try to create the image of themselves. So our app has this similar kind of function, okay, but more than that because we do customization, we do personalization. So in our app, actually, it's going pretty fast. We have this premium content, so user can still use it for free. But if you want to get the premium content and you want to generate like a high frequency user, you pay for that. So actually, on that front, it's also one of the revenue growth engines from our company.
Do you find that having the mix of B2B and B2C actually help the other side?
So in our case, it is because we build the base engine. Because some of this, the virtual try-on feature in our app, the engine is the same, but the UI UX is different, of course, because it's dealing with a different type of customer. But engine is the same, so we don't need to have multiple team to do the different engine. One thing which is interesting is because we have a control over our app, so we can put the latest and greatest experiment on our app and see how it goes. If we see the feedback, potentially we can package this as a B2B license model to promote to the big company, right? The enterprise customer. But if it's something, they give a feedback and we can change it, we can learn it. So that's why exists the B2B and B2C is really one of the key differentiator of our company. And especially doing this AI machine learning, we need lots of data. So sometimes we can, through our app user, we do a survey, we do the focus group, and then we can get a pretty decent trend prediction from our app user, and then we publish it quarterly, pretty much like a quarterly the trend report on different aspect of the beauty.
What about international expansion?
From day one, we actually is a global company. Because from the B2B side, we work with this giant beauty conglomerate, like LVMH, Estee Lauder. They are global. So that's why they implement our tool in the global. We can get into a different language localization. Okay, so it's like a 30 plus different language. So B2B, of course, that's a global. And also on the app side, yes, it's also global. Of course, global distribution, but revenue driven is still mainly from North America because the North American user, they have they used to paying for the premium content.
Let's talk a little bit about agentic, the new form of commerce that is coming.
So in that case, I am, as I said, I see this very exciting opportunity. I personally using some of this tool, and I'm amazed by that. Okay, so still it's in the infancy, early stage, but I already get all this wow factor about how this agentic AI can accomplish. In our cases, we have all this engine, right? The makeup engine, the skin engine, the fashion engine, and then at the end we need to put everything together as a more like a holistic agentic AI engine to help a customer, okay, or help the brand. So we are working on this. Last year, we announced Perfect GPT, which is more like a LLM, large language model, but focused on the beauty side, including makeup and the skin. Okay, actually, I think probably within a month, we are going to launch an early prototype of agentic the beauty advisor, which is have all our engine, put it together, and then basically it can detect the environment. In our cases, of course, the customer's face, right? Customer's preference, and then the lighting and all kind of thing. It can detect environment, sense the environment, and then understand your need. Because by working on this, the conversation, we will understand your need, and then through all the data we have, we create this personalized solution. Then we can make make an action. So that's why through the environment sense, understand your need, do the personalization, create the recommendation, and then we can help you to take action. For example, take action is we show you this tutorial, and then we pick some of the product or even the look which can create on you. So that's why, and then of course, if we would start working with the retailer or the brand, we can go to the website and then to help you to purchase it. So that's pretty much like a one-stop shop. That's our idea of this, the beauty agent. And then we are working on this, and then the prototype we're gonna launch in the month.
Maybe you can say, do this and then put me side by side with some famous actor or actress and see how we look together.
Actually, we do have that. We call the makeup transfer. For example, if you like Taylor Swift's the look during this probably Super Bowl, right? So all you need to do is you have a photo of her, just upload the photo, and then tell this the engine say just to create a look for me, and then they will try to recreate Taylor Swift's look, but on your faces. So we call the makeup transfer. That's right now is available now.
What do you think about the privacy aspects of taking all this information on the consumer side? That should be a concern.
Yes, absolutely. That's why actually one of our strengths is protect the customers' data. That's why we can be in the 10 years and working with all these big retailer and the brand. Couple of things. First is we heavily leverage so-called edge computing. So mainly your personal data, like your photo, everything is live on your personal devices, on your phone, on your PC, on your iPad. So we don't really need to upload your photo onto the cloud, which is a really innovative way on the architecture side. So that's the first thing. Second thing here is we even some of the brand, okay, we work with them. They may need to upload the photo into their website, but we also have a called the time bound. We have an automatic mechanism based on the compliance, like a GDPR or HIPAA. So we can set the time bound. So probably in 72 hours or 24 hours, that photo will be deleted. Okay, so it will be removed, something like that. So it's just a just some of our mechanism to protect the identity. So yeah, so that's why. And then of course we work with all these the big company. They have their own compliance. We need to meet all of this. For the makeup, okay, makeup, skincare, makeup primarily is a try out. So everything is a we don't really need to learn anything from your faces at the spot. So we don't need to transfer your photo into the cloud. So basically is we just need photo and then we superimpose the AR on the color on your faces. We actually, before we started, we will download a small package which can help you to do the color rendering. That's pretty much it. So we don't need to know who you are, like what you look like, but we can do all these things in the local the devices. That's why the edge devices. And then on the skincare, okay, that one is if you don't really need to do recommendation because recommendation is dynamic, but analyze your faces actually is it's a already stable machine. So it's a machine. I mean the engine analyze your faces. So we don't really need your photo upload to the cloud. But if you want to do recommendations, okay, if because the recommendation, as I say, is dynamic. Everybody has a little bit different aspect. We do need to upload the aspect of your skin in the database, in the cloud, and then to do recommendation. However, the thing here is for the privacy data, as long as the information which you store in the cloud cannot recreate the person like identity, which is fine. Okay, so that's why we really don't need to have your full face. We just need to have your skin concern. With the skin concern, it's almost impossible to recreate the identity. So that's how we protect the identity. And also when we in the AI world, right? So in the AI and AR world, when you say the photo, it's not a photo, it's a vector. Okay, so it's a bunch of data and it's a number. So that's why it's really not a photo. It's very difficult to recreate and trace back to who that user is.
Thank you so much, Wayne. This has been a very interesting conversation, educational.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate this conversation.